Welcome to you, Cedric. Good
What's
to
up,
see you.
What's up, bro?
All right. You're in town doing some diabetes awareness work.
Yeah. November is American Diabetes Month. Partnered up with the American Diabetes Association along with Pfizer to talk about this campaign, Step On Up. I am associated with diabetes in the fact that my dad has type 2 diabetes. In the last couple of years, started noticing that he was moving a little slower, mainly due to the pain that he was feeling in his feet, some shooting pain and stuff that's happening with his hands. And I don't think people recognize that some of these symptoms could be directly related to your diabetes. So it's a condition called diabetic nerve pain that I wanted to really bring a lot more awareness to. So we partnered up to do this campaign. So we're encouraging people to step on up. Go to the site, steponup.com. And if you have diabetes, go there, check it out, maybe fill out the assessment and see if some of these symptoms are happening to you, and then go and talk to your doctor about it. It's really serious.
Yeah.
It's just not enough in our communities where people, they have things, they think they can self-diagnose, and you don't have all the answers, and I just want to encourage people to get help.
Yeah, because, it is a problem across the world, but it's also a big epidemic in the African-American community and the Hispanic community. So having you out there out front educating people is a real good thing.
Yeah, I thought it was an important message. It was something that was directly related to me and my family. So, in seeing this is a way to get involved, to have people to just do that one little thing to realize that they can get some help, they can get some relief, and you don't have to suffer like that.
Yeah, and you have a movie, Top 5, coming out December 5th. Now, Chris Rock is a comedian who sort of falls from grace, and you become his manager and end up making his career even worse.
Well, and it happens. if you do comedy, you recognize that these kind of things, as you're going along, I actually, I'm a guy that's a promoter that's trying to encourage him to do a show for me, for a hookup, if you will. And in the process, everything goes wrong, and I actually ruined the man's life. So, and it's a great little role in the movie for any of us who came up in comedy in the 90s and the early 2000s. Yeah. We can recognize this character right away.
A lot of people think that your debut was when you did the Apollo in '92, but you really hustled even before that.
Oh, yeah.
We talked earlier, you were a claims adjuster for State Farm Insurance.
Yeah,
you were a substitute teacher.
Yeah, man.
Tell me about that time. Were you doing comedy at night, or how did that work out?
Well, I did substitute because I went to college, and did my 5 years of college. I wasn't a 4-year kind of student. I needed an extra year. But when I came home, the job market was a little slow, kind of like what, we're living in now during that period. And so I became a substitute. My mother was a teacher, so I identified with that world, and then shortly thereafter became a claims adjuster for State Farm. I believe I got hired at State Farm on a Monday, and I tried my first time at stand-up that Thursday. So I finally had this great job, and then I find my life's, passion, 3 days later.
So that was something
weird.
You wanted to do as a kid. You wanted to be.
Well, I love to entertain. Didn't really think I could do stand-up. Didn't really see it at the time. It was Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy. Everybody was superstars. And then, along came this opportunity when it was just more people having the opportunity to go and do it.
It's important, especially for the young people, to hear that there are celebrities out there that get their education. I find that it really makes people shrewd. Yeah, man. How did it help you to have your education?
Well, I think, again, it's very important because you never know who's sitting in your audience. So you have to take into account that it's people from all walks of life there. So to be able to write a joke, to be able to speak to something in a comedic fashion, you want to talk to the intellectuals, you want to talk to the people who just they work the 9-to-5s. And again, I've had the great opportunity to perform for 3 presidents, and I think that's all related to, me having an education as well.
You were born in Jefferson City, Missouri, grew up in Berkeley, not far from Ferguson. How do you view the situation there right now? Do you think Darren Wilson will be convicted of any crime?
I think that is a situation where you see that, that policing in the African American community is getting a bit aggressive. I think that there is something to be done on a national level about looking at how people are policed in their neighborhoods. You're not saying that anyone is less culpable in a situation like that. I think that for that Darren Wilson situation, I really want the truth and the facts to come out. It appears to be a little posturing in the sense that you kind of instantly divide lines. The police has a side, and then the victim has a side, and people are not really trying to find out what the truth of the matter is. And I think that's the most important aspect here, and that justice served. If this guy was, if the police, shot and didn't do it with the, probable cause and all the right, proper etiquette as a police officer, then, he should face the same kind of consequence that a citizen would.
What does your gut tell you if he's not convicted? What do you think?
Well, I think again,
the community.
The community, the community is posed to pounce. They are upset about it again, and this Mike Brown situation is one circumstance. But again, growing up in St. Louis, living there, this is not new to us. This is something that Mike Brown became a news story, but these kind of stories happen too often to where people are. That's where the outrage comes from. It's not one incident. So, I think that it's important that politically, again, you don't want anybody convicted for something that if he was doing his job and he's doing his job properly, it's unfortunate that the young man lost his life. But if there was any degree, then you don't want someone to have an advantage simply because they are on one side of the system. It seems unfair to the regular community. And that's really what the outrage is about. It's like it just seems so one-sided.
What's great about you is you're not afraid to speak out on things that you believe in. There are a lot of celebrities that would say, I'm not going to touch that.
Yeah.
But it was very important for you to do that, and you've been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Why is that? Do you think your education plays a role in that?
Well, I mean, I do have an opinion. I am a person who has an opportunity to have a voice to try to speak to both the passion and the outrage at the same time, to try to place that in an intelligent manner. And I think that sometimes people really run off emotions, and I choose to, even if I am emotional about something, I choose to look at it logically. And so I think that sometimes you need these voices when people are just ready and angry and ready to mob. You need someone that they believe in to say, all right, give me a second. Let me take Ced's point of view and at least see if what I'm mad about is what I'm really mad about. So. And I'm not afraid to be that person. What's
kind of frustrating for me a lot of times when I have comedians come in is I can't get them to be serious, to talk about you. Here you are, this tremendously successful guy, you're self-made, and there's a story behind that, but a lot of people joke around because it seems like they're always in character.
Well, yeah, I think...
Is that... Because Joan Rivers told me that. She said, Bill Cosby once told her, hey, whenever you're in public, keep that smile on.
Right.
But people don't see the private pain that comedians even suffer, like Robin Williams and all of that. What is that about?
Well, I mean, again, you are the gestures of the society. You are there to, you've learned as a job to take this on, to make people laugh, to make other people smile, and you always want to project that. I don't think that anybody is kind of, in a way, if you're a kid, you don't really want to see the clown taking off his makeup. Like, you just don't want to know that Santa Claus is your dad. Like, you don't want to know. Like, So, I mean, again, the idea of seeing like a comedian as a real person and dealing with something serious, it's one of these kind of things that, you often fight too in your regular life.
What is it? Like, how do we have all of this long string of comedians that have suffered depression in their private life? What is the depressing aspect of being a comedian?
Well, I mean, for the most part, I think when you see even the symbol of comedy and tragedy, you see this kind of the smiling face and the sad face. It is this bipolar, existence of I want to make you laugh, usually dealing with my own pain of some sort. I've never really been that kind of comedian. I'm more of an observational comedian, so I don't really deal with any kind of like heavy depression or sadness myself personally. But I do know that, you know, from other comedians, they actually kind of dig from really dark places in their life in order to be able to tell their stories and kind of convey their message to a degree of truth on stage. And so I think that, you know, some of the great comedians are willing to reveal that in a stage setting, and if ever they kind of lose that light, they lose that shine, it hurts them. You know.
I've been doing a lot of interviews with celebrities around ownership, taking ownership in their careers. Jessica Alba has a $1 billion company now. Halle Berry just bought 50% of a lingerie company. And I get the sense that there's a point that you get in your career where you say, hey, I don't just want to be the talent.
Right.
I want to make this work.
Yeah.
But particularly for black celebrities, do you see opportunities, and is that more of your next step to really grow as an entrepreneur?
Oh, definitely. I mean, and we have great examples. I mean, of course, you know, I mean, you named a few, but then you think of people like Jay-Z and Oprah and
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre. I mean, and then you can go to Cash Money Records. I mean, I think about all these examples of people who build their own unique brands and they care for it and they treat it with great care, and you see them build really huge brands. And so, of course, as a comedian, you know, I mean, I write, I produce, you know, I wrote and created my show Soul Man. I produced that show, several movies, Johnson Family Vacation. I got my own hat line. So it's constantly one of these kind of things where you are developing and you want to create and you want to make your significance. You know, you want people to recognize that you are a whole person, not just, you know, this entertainer that can only do one thing and put on a show for you.
Because you invested in racing at one point too,
yeah,
right?
Man, that was a little beyond. I loved cars. I'm a big fan of cars. I have a lot of cars, and so racing seemed like a fun thing to be into. And I had the open wheel cars, the Champ Series cars, which is they're a little bit smaller than the Indianapolis 500, but the same style. The wheels are out, and you know, it took me all around the world. I was able to go to Australia and Mexico. We raced these cars, and it was fun, but it's expensive. It's for really rich people. That's what you find out.
Well,
like,
you'll get your network, and then you'll go and buy NASCAR.
Yeah, man. Well, that's where the money is right there.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Cedric the Entertainer. I appreciate the opportunity to see that other side of you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much, brother.
I appreciate it. I want people to steponup.com, man. Go get your health check, man.
All right.
All right, man. Serious.
And with Cedric the Entertainer, I'm Lee Hawkins. We'll see you next time. Catch me on Twitter @Lee Hawkins.